Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about 3 ways I've been nurturing my creativity. The first way I've been doing this is letting my inner child play, just letting myself step into that state of curiosity and experimentation and discovery. The second way I've been doing this is dedicating time to play. So whenever I set aside time to draw or create, I'm letting myself have that space where I can just play and experiment, which is different from working on a more serious project. And the third way I've been doing this is just maintaining authenticity through it all. So really just being honest about who I am and what I like to create and what resonates with me. So these 3 things have been really helpful for just bringing out more of my creative spirit, especially when I've been kind of blocked for a really long time. This will actually be my first YouTube video and I'm really excited. I've always wanted to upload YouTube videos just to share more about my personal journey. And I also want to connect with other artists and other people that might resonate with this or maybe learn something from this. So wherever you're at, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you find something helpful from it. The first point that I want to elaborate on, letting my inner child play, is remembering that feeling of when I was a little girl and I was just very curious, very experimental, and I knew I loved cute, warm, cartoonish things. And so I'm genuinely pulling from that feeling as I'm drawing these characters. Whenever I draw something like really squishy looking or just with this very soft looking pencil-like and the colors, that's the feeling that I'm drawing with, and that's ultimately what I want people to feel when they see this art. That has been something lovely to come out of this process of letting my inner child play. Honestly, this has been really healing for me even getting back into drawing in the first place. I went through actually quite a long time, a lot of years just feeling afraid to even draw or create something. Whenever I would sit down wanting to draw, I felt like I was subconsciously putting pressure on myself to create a great masterpiece when there really isn't that need to put that much pressure on myself. And this time around, when I was like, okay, I really want to draw, like these are things that I want to play around with, I gave myself very low expectations of what I guess the skill level that I would have or even the quality that I would produce. I was just like, even if it's just squiggles or blobs or discombobulated, lopsided things, at least I'm drawing, at least I'm letting myself play. And that was the most important thing for me as I started drawing again, because ultimately I used to love drawing and I did it quite often and I fell out of it. So me wanting to get in touch with that again led to just me realizing wow, if I let myself play like my inner child play, very carefree, very experimental and just curious, then that actually opens up my creativity so much more and it feels very nurturing in that way. The second point I want to elaborate on is dedicating time to play. So this may be obvious, but for me, I actually currently work as a physical therapist, but this is a dream of mine that I do want to make a reality. I am missing the feeling of fulfillment through creating constantly. And so I needed to actually formally schedule time in my Google Calendar that I reference for all of my work schedule, all of my tasks, everything. And I needed to make time in that specifically for creating. And an important subtopic on this is being really intentional about when I schedule time for this. At this point, I've learned enough about myself through grad school and through different phases of my life where I kind of know that the hours of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. is generally when I feel the most productive. Of course, that can vary depending on my energy level and my mental health and honestly too my menstrual cycle. But more or less, that's kind of my productive and really stimulated creative hours. So I wanted to purposefully at least spend 1 or 2 hours during that time, knowing that I can dedicate that time to myself. And I'm really keeping a promise to that inner child of, hey, we're going to spend some time playing today. And it actually does have a positive impact on my days, even on the days where I know that the work that I'm doing isn't always aligned with what I truly want to do. But at the very least, my inner child feels like my cup has been filled because I gave myself time. I promised myself and I kept that promise to do this work that brings me joy, to let myself play and create. So dedicating time and being intentional about when I schedule that time to actually make this dream a reality and let myself practice constantly was really important for me to nurture my creativity in the first place. So last but not least, I'll be elaborating on the last point, which is maintaining authenticity through it all. I'm going to pull from my experiences in dance with this because I do feel more seasoned in that art form. I will say I feel most authentic when I feel like I'm being the most honest with who I am and what I want to say, what I like, and what resonates with me. And trying to know and understand the difference between who I think I'm supposed to be, what I think I should be doing, and what other people are doing, which is a lot easier said than done. And to follow that point, I think this is something that goes beyond just when we create art, but thinking about how we live our lives from the small scale of our day-to-day to just the bigger scale of, a phase of our life or a season of our life. But our art reflects who we are as people and how we live. So I think even just being very intentional about what you choose to do, who you choose to surround yourself with, and how you choose to take care of yourself spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, that all bleeds very honestly into your work. And to me, maintaining authenticity also means maintaining authenticity in the decisions that I make, being very honest with myself through reflection, through the work that I do, even just verbalizing things out loud, praying about it. That helps me stay in tune with what truly resonates with me and what aligns with my values. And that's what I think helps me be really honest with myself, which ultimately allows me to create more freely and more confidently. Another strategy that I've been using to tap into my inner child is doing the morning pages recommended by Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way. Once she convinced me in her book to start doing morning pages, and I was able to actually make it a daily habit, that's been really helpful for me to just kind of letting free flow what my brain or what my spirit wants to tell me. It's not an end-all be-all, but at the very least, it kind of gives me a rough idea of where I'm at each day. And just to preface again, this is what's been helpful for me. What you need for your creativity might look different, but I hope at the very least it made you think about different things that may or may not align with what I mentioned in this video, and that would be helpful for you in your process of creativity, whatever that looks like in whatever art form. So I hope you guys enjoyed again, and I'd love to hear any thoughts or comments you have. Please feel free to share, and I hope to see you soon in the next one.